Video games have been a big part of my life ever since I was a young boy. The franchise that got me into video games was Super Mario Brothers. Now, Super Mario is a franchise created by Shigeru Miyamoto, who was also known for creating The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Pikmin, and many other popular Nintendo franchises. Mario's first appearance was back in 1981 as the main character, Jumpman, in the game Donkey Kong, in which he had to rescue a friend of his from the title character, and then he went on to be in Mario Brothers on 1983 alongside Luigi. That was the game that introduced his brother, and it focused more on the plumbing aspect of Mario and Luigi, going into the pipes and destroying these evil creatures. Super Mario Brothers was the one that really got things going. It came out in 1985, classic game, rescue the princess from the Koopa King, stuff like that. So when I got an NES as a kid, and the three games that came with it was Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Super Mario Brothers 3. My copy of Super Mario Brothers also had Duck Hunt, which also came with a zapper, and I played it. It was pretty fun, but I was more interested in Mario, and I spent most of my time playing as Mario. Something about the World 1-1 overworld theme just really sucked me in. It was like I didn't know what this. It was like an amazing situation. I'm playing this game, jumping, crushing the Goombas, the Koopas, fighting Bowser to rescue Princess Peach. I mean, it was just fun. Now, I want to do a little quick note here. At the time, Peach was known as Princess Toadstool, at least in the West. Japan, she was always Peach, but here she was Princess Toadstool. Bowser's also name is a little confusing since he's known as Koopa in Japan. For convenience sake, I'm just going to say Peach and Bowser. So whenever I'm talking about these characters, I will say Peach and Bowser. So now, Super Mario Brothers 2, fun game as well. I like being able to switch between Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. It didn't capture my attention as much as the first one. It had unique ideas, but the first one was just cool. Um, they managed to take basically the four same level designs and switch them up because you had the overworld, you had the underground, you had the water levels and the castle, but they weren't just copy paste. They changed each time. Sometimes an aesthetic too. It really worked out. And it also helped that they added different enemies in the later levels to really amp up the difficulty. Super Mario Bros. 3, I would say, is a big step up. You had more enemies, you had more bosses outside of just Bowser because you had the Kooperlings. They added more to the game so that when you got to Bowser, it felt like more of a final boss. It's just something about Bowser being the final boss of a Mario game that makes him more intimidating because you had to work to get to the king and supposed to have to fight him all the time. A final boss needs to have some sort of toughness to him, so it kind of hurts a little bit when you get to fight him all the time, but oh well, what can you do? So it was a but it was a fun time, and unfortunately, my NES broke, so I could not play those games anymore. I still had a chance to play Super Mario World. I had to either go to a friend's house or play it at a store. And again, I loved it. Something about the overworld theme, the menu theme. I guess it's the music that really got me into it, along with the design. And also the power ups Mushroom, Fire Flowers, Superstar, Tanuki Leaf, even the cape in Super Mario Brothers World. They gave him that Superman vibe. Except Mario couldn't shoot lasers out of his eyes, and he didn't have super strength, but close enough. And then, and of course, I had the TV shows at least. You had the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, based mostly on the first two games, I would say, because like the first, it had music from the first game and the power ups, and of course Bowser as a main enemy. But it also had the whole Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad thing. Some of the enemies, like the Birdo, appeared. Um, it was a fun show. It kind of filled that void a little. I would say that the Super Mario Brothers Super Show was a classic. Yeah, I can't. It's just enjoyable show. I like watching it. Um, the voice actors did a great job bringing these characters to life. It's what helped make the whole Mario has a Brooklyn accent thing a thing. Even though in the games he would have a more traditional Italian accent, and it added more character because Mario, for the most part in the games, he's just this. He's a silent protagonist, like many Nintendo characters. But this shows he can have a personality. It'll still work. Mario, he's a hero. He likes pasta a lot. He might like that Cloud of Judgment a bit, but he just still had that brave hero attitude that you expect out of a main character. So that filled the void a bit, but I still really wanted a video game console. I did not get the N64, however, I got the PlayStation. It was a Christmas gift. And I like my PlayStation. I like playing Spyro. And but that means missing out on Super Mario Bros. 64. And since I got a PlayStation 2 instead of a GameCube, I missed out on Super Mario Sunshine. And I would love to play these games, but that might be difficult, especially with Sunshine, because wow, GameCube games are pretty expensive now, especially first party Nintendo games. But I'm not giving up on that. I'm gonna get Super Mario Sunshine one day and play it. Thankfully, I got the Wii sometime in the late 2000s, and of course, one of the first games I got for the Wii was Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I enjoyed that game. Super Mario Galaxy had a great soundtrack. It has like these cool. I mean, the power ups don't last long, but when you get those power ups, you have like this cool music that plays, and it kind of raises the tension, but you feel so awesome with it. You have you have these great characters. You have a good story. Yeah, Mario's not really known for its story, but who says they can't have a good one anyway? I think the only thing guess that bothered me a little was having to fight Bowser as many times as I did before the final battle. But at least the final battle he changed things up a little, so but I would like to have a little more variety in the bosses. Um, but Super Mario Galaxy is a fun game. I used to stay up all night playing it. It was not that I was playing Legends of the Twilight Princess. I enjoyed both of them. So, and then I went on to get games like Super Mario Brothers Wii, which it brought back the Koopa Links and introduced Bowser Jr. so that when you fight Bowser, he felt like a real final boss again. Great power ups. I know in hindsight, a lot of people believe it's not really the greatest Mario game, but I don't really care. I still enjoyed playing the game. Super Paper Mario, another great Wii game. Here's my thing about it. I know that it changed the formula. Instead of it being turn based like you would see in Final Fantasy, it was more of an action RPG. Stomp the enemy, get the power ups, whatever. Point is, it had like this side scrolling thing, and I know it was different and maybe it's because I don't have as much of an attachment to the old Paper Mario games, but I would still say Super Paper Mario was one of the best games I played on the Wii. And it's a game that proves that Mario can have a deep story if they wanted to, because that game was not all happy colors, rainbow. No, they really got the game got a little serious at points, and it worked a little because it was kind of weird to see Mario in such a serious game, but at the same time, it really showed who he is as a character and how he handles these situations. Mario may not have much of a character, but that's fine. Sometimes in these things, you have something called the flat character. It's not about Mario developing as a person, it's about how he influences people around him. Mario in a lot of these games, just him being this nice guy helps people feel better. Like he emanates that strong energy. It's like traditional Japanese shonen. And because again, you got one thing that's easy to forget: Super Mario Brothers is a Japanese franchise, and thus you might get a few anime tidbits out of it. That's not really something you would expect, but that's how it is. And Super Paper Mario, fun game. Being able to switch between the characters was great because I like variety when you're playing in these games. I didn't like that new Super Mario Brothers where you only let you play as Mario if you're playing as player one. You want to play as anyone else, you got to go multiplayer, but I couldn't always go multiplayer and I prefer to play solo when I play these games. But at least with Super Paper Mario, you got the option. I just wish they handled the Switch better because I feel like pausing the game just to switch to another character gets a little tedious. Same thing with pausing to switch the pixels. But minor nitpick. I ended up having to play as Marvel for the most part anyway because a lot of the level designs required the 3D space. So it's like, what's the point of switching if you got to go back to Mario a few seconds later anyway? And at this point, I only use the other characters if the level required it. Like if I needed to float somewhere, boom, Princess Peach is her parasol. If I need to jump high, boom, Luigi could do the high jump. Bowser's a good character to play, at least since he's super strong. He's got the fire, and he does twice as much damage. He felt like it felt like you were playing as a boss character with Bowser. But then here's the thing: when I get these Mario games, I don't really get the party games much. I stick with the main games, sometimes the spin-off, but I never play the Mario games, party games much. I never played the Mario Kart games much. It wasn't probably until I got the Wii U. Now, yes, I got the Wii U. It's a great console. Shame that it's so underrated. I can understand why. Maybe the gamepad kind of sucked. You didn't. Maybe they needed to do something better with that. But I understand Nintendo. They like to do things differently. They don't like sticking to the same formula. That's what made Super Mario Galaxy work. It wasn't the same formula. They tried something different. Paper Mario, they tried something different. They want to do different things so you don't feel like you're playing the same game all the time. That's not a bad thing. Some companies, they stick to the same formula because it works. If it works, you don't need to fix it. Don't fix it or change it unless you know you could do something a little better. It worked out. Even Legend of Zelda tried this a few times, but we'll get to that later. Super Mario 3D World, fun game as well. Being able to switch between Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad like Super Mario Bros. 2. You had the option to unlock Rosalina after you beat the game. Kind of shame you couldn't unlock her sooner, but hey, post game content and it's stories reasons. Point is, fun game. I enjoy the game. It's one of the reasons I don't regret getting a Wii U because I had fun with it. It got re-released for the Switch, and unfortunately, that means. And then the Switch version got the Bowser's Fury thing now. I don't want to. I don't want to rebuy the game for the Switch. It feels like a waste. I do kind of regret that I don't get to play Bowser's Fury, but at least if you've never gone to Wii U, you have more of a reason to do so. I'm satisfied. If I want to play the game, I'll boot up the Wii U. I still play my Wii U. I have plenty of fun games on there, and well, that's just my thing. Switch comes around. Three games stood out to me for the Nintendo Switch: The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, and of course, Super Mario Odyssey. Again, changing it up a little. The whole throwing the hat thing, taking control of enemies. Decent story, I guess, but I like being able to travel to different kingdoms. I like the open world concept. It's like Nintendo just likes to outdo themselves, and I hope this gets a sequel, but if it doesn't, then oh well. At least we had the original. And but it was one of those fun games I enjoyed. It was like one of those things that you boot it up and you just feel happy. Like I was so happy when I got my Switch, and Mario just reminds me of that happiness, just like Breath of the Wild, just like Splatoon. Breath of the Wild, like Mario, of course, changed the formula up a little. It wasn't exactly the same as the old games. They changed things up to better fit the open world concept. And like Mario, it innovated and tried something new. Now, not everyone liked it. I understand that. Breath of the Wild's a great game, but it may not be a great Zelda game. Mario, however, I think most fans are kind of used to. It changes so much, so because Zelda probably doesn't change as much as Mario does for everyone to get used to it. And even then, you can have your preferences. You might prefer the side-scrolling Mario games, or you might prefer the 3D games. Because each of these games, they do have kind of a similar thing. Like every side-scrolling Mario game, you have the whole get the power up. You get hit a couple of times, boom, that's it. Some of these other Mario games, they have the health bar. You get hit a few times, boom, that's it. And but one like the whole common thing is that you're usually fighting Bowser and rescuing Princess Peach. Not always. Some games you don't rescue Peach, some games she's fighting with you, and I kind of like that because over time it gets kind of annoying to always have to rescue Princess Peach. I like any game that tries something different with the concept of you're doing a different story than that, and then but whatever works works. Now Mario, but yeah, that's what Mario was to me. It's a franchise that got me into video games. I followed it to the best of, as well as I could. It wasn't easy because the whole I didn't have a Nintendo console at one point. Well, as soon as I got a Nintendo console, I tried getting whatever Mario I could. When I got my 3DS, I got some Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I've thought about getting the other Mario and Luigi games. Um, I've actually played them. I played a few of them, and they're fun. Um, again, it's different. Nintendo tries something different with the Mario franchise. It's just like kind of amazing how they could do so many different things. You have even the side games like Luigi's Mansion. You have the upcoming Princess Peach Showtime. You have one day maybe we'll get a Bowser game. I mean, Bowser's Inside Story is the closest, but imagine a real Bowser game. Mario even made playing as the rabbits fun. I played Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It's a fun game. It has that strategy element. It's kind of weird that Mario doesn't really jump in that game because he's Jumpman, but hey, they still made it work. It's still a fun game. And then you have Mario and Super Smash Bros., of course, which has a lot of my favorite franchises in one, and that's why I enjoyed Super Smash Bros. When I remember being a kid, seeing the cover of Smash Bros. 64, and I'm like, whoa, Mario's fighting Pikachu. Awesome. I grew up liking Pokemon as well. I never played the Pokemon games much because I didn't have a Game Boy, but I like the show, and now that I have like a Switch, I could get Pokemon games. Are they the best games? I guess most longtime fans would say they kind of suck compared to the old stuff. And honestly, while I played Pokemon Red, I would love to one day have a Game Boy and actually play for myself, like own it for myself. I played it, but I kind of had to borrow it or whatever. Same thing with Mario. I wish I grew up with Mario Sunshine. I wish I grew up playing 64, but point instead of worrying about what happened then, I'm gonna worry about the future. And the future is I'm still gonna play Mario whenever I can. I enjoyed the Super Mario Bros. Movie that came out this year. Is it the best movie ever? Maybe not. The plot was simple, I will admit, but it was still an enjoyable movie, and that's all that matters. Movies, like games, they need to be enjoyable. They need to be fun. I have my criticisms of the movie, but that doesn't mean it's not a good movie. Anyway, point is, that's my story about playing Super Mario Brothers, and I imagine there's gonna be some wonders in the future. Yeah, kind of corny, but whatever. Anyway, I will see you all later. I hope you have a great day. This is Storm Dash signing off. Goodbye.